Sedano and Kap on 710 ESPN. George, you introduced us a couple weeks ago to Blake Harris, who has turned into the Dodger insider of this show.
Oh, he is. That's correct. We are very lucky to have Blake Harris, or as you like to call him,
Balake.
Yes. So feel free to introduce him since you're in control today. I can't be in control with my random setup I have here from this hotel room today.
All right. Well, hey, Laura, you tell us when Balake Harris, he's ready? He's ready to go? Okay, here he is. Here is the official Dodger insider of the Sedano and Kap show on 710 ESPN. I know it's official because it's on his Twitter handle bio. Here's Balake, or Blake to some, Harris. Blake, good afternoon. Welcome back. How you doing, man?
Doing fantastic, guys. Yeah, ever since last week's show, everywhere I go now in public, it's Balake everywhere. So I got to blame Scott on that one because Blake is no more.
Well, there you go. I'm glad.
It's like, George, it's what I call guys. If you know a guy named Aaron, you call him Aaron, right?
Aaron.
Don't you do that?
Not really, but yeah. I mean, I did watch Key and Peele too. Yes.
Okay,
sure.
So Balake, Aaron. Blake Harris is here. Blake.
Yeah. I believe some people feel Dave Roberts Balaked Clayton Kershaw's perfect game. Did they not?
Yeah. I mean, this is like the most controversial decision like in baseball the last decade, it seems. I'm still trying to figure things out. I was listening to what you guys were saying earlier, and I am also kind of shocked that, more than 24 hours later, it's still getting the attention it is. I mean, Clayton Kershaw, he was asked about it again today while speaking with the media, even though we spoke yesterday. As fans of baseball, as a Dodger fan, of course, you hate to see it. It's so rare that, we see a perfect game. I think there's only been 23 perfect games in baseball history. So it's not every year you get to see one, let alone one of the best pitchers of our generation, on the verge of throwing one. So it really did hurt seeing him come out. But again, you got to take into account it was a shortened spring. Back in January, Clayton Kershaw hadn't even thrown a ball yet. He didn't even know if he was going to pitch this year. You got to be careful with that arm. He's dealt with injuries, over the last few years. It's going to be a long season. And, he said multiple times the reason he came back to Los Angeles was to win a World Series. He's already thrown the no-hitter. He's already accomplished everything a pitcher can accomplish at the big league level. So, deep down, I'm sure he would have loved to add the perfect game. But, it's tough to admit, but it was ultimately the smart move for Clayton Kershaw and for Dave Roberts to make.
Do you feel like, Blake, that Kershaw is just kind of being a good team guy and doesn't want to, make himself seem selfish, and that he actually really did want to go back in? Or do you feel the other way, which is, no, he could have argued, but he didn't. I mean, he seemed very content with the decision. How do you feel like Kershaw was playing this?
Yeah, that's what's so interesting about this is that based on just his body language from the post-game interview yesterday and the post-game interview today, I just get the feeling that he would have wanted to finish it. I think he's fully on board with knowing that it was the right decision, protecting his arm. But, I mean, he was, just really sad yesterday for Austin Barnes. It sounded like he really wanted him to have a perfect game under his belt. Today he was, personally apologizing to the fans. So I think, he admitted that his stuff was starting to slow down near the end. And again, I think he knew at the back of his mind, this is the smart decision. And I'm sure, again, in speaking with Dave Roberts, he earned the right to pretty much let him know how he's feeling. I really do think Clayton Kershaw, if this was just one or two more starts down the road, he would have 100% not even questioned coming out of the game. But, again, it's one of those things where he knows you can't risk something like this. You got to play it smart. But I do think deep down, I really think he wanted to stay in that game because he knows just how special this would have been. Especially, again, if this was a no-hitter, I don't think he necessarily would have cared. But this is the perfect game we're talking about, which I think the last one was 10 years ago. I really honestly don't think that, he really wanted to come out.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to come out either, but I think he knew he knows his body. I feel like he knows his body. Blake Harris is here. He is the Sedano and Kap Dodger insider. George, you were just about to say when I interrupted. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's okay, pal. Julio Urias, I was a bit disappointed in his start in Colorado. It felt like his velocity wasn't there. Should we be concerned at all about that, or do you think that's just the truncated spring?
Yeah, a lot of people, after that start were immediately, going to his velo numbers compared to last year. I believe he was about 3 miles an hour below what he was last year. And I'm not going to get too concerned, this early on because, again, we have to remember it was a shortened spring. Right now would be, the 4th or 5th week of spring training, so the regular season wouldn't even be here yet. But, it isn't something you like to see because anytime a pitcher, you see their velocity decrease a little, that's usually not a good sign, and that's concerning. So I'm going to give him a few more starts, continue to build that arm up. He said following the game, Dave Roberts said following the game, it was, nothing major. It had to do with pitching at Coors Field. Again, had to do with his arm not fully being built up yet. But definitely something to keep an eye on moving forward because, like I mentioned, being down 3 miles per hour from your normal ticket velocity is not usually an encouraging sign whatsoever.
Yeah, well, again, I think the way Urias pitched is why I really think Dave Roberts had to be thinking to himself, Clayton, come on, man. I mean, who knows what we've really got here, especially in the early part of the season. Hey, Blake, before you roll, real quick, I'm curious. Give me an opinion here on Cody Bellinger through the first 5 games because all eyes will be on him when he's hitting. We got about a minute to go. What do you say?
I've been pleasantly surprised. I mean, especially the last few games, has hit a home run, some extra base hits. He's been really seeing the ball well. I think has 4 or 5 walks over the course of the last few games. I think he has like the 4th highest OPS on the Dodgers through the first 5 games. Granted, it's been a week, but I've really liked what I've seen from him. I think the results are going to be there. And again, compared to what other Dodger hitters have been doing so far, not named Austin Barnes, he's actually been one of the more encouraging hitters. So I've definitely liked what I've seen from Cody Bellinger out there, and he seems to be gaining confidence as the season's going along as well.
Right,
I love OPS talk. I love it. Cap probably doesn't even know what that means. He probably, who knows what he thinks it means. What do you think it means, Cap, OPS?
Other people's stuff?
No.
Close.
Yeah. I mean, you're close, right? Very close. Yeah, very close.
I mean, you got
Not
OPP.
really,
and
yeah, you know me.
OPS.
Yeah. On base plus slugging. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was other people's stuff. Got it.
No.
Hey, Blake, you know what OGFR stands for?
Oh, God.
I don't know. I feel like that might have been something either the kids are saying nowadays or something before my time, and I'm just right in the middle. So,
yeah, well,
unfortunately,
it's on God for real. On God for real. And here's the deal. We got to hit this break. Don't go anywhere. Here comes the 6 o'clock hour. It's Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN. Great job, Blake.
See you, Blake.
No worries. Thanks, guys.